What's up, YouTube? It's Remy here. Today I'm going to be doing an analysis of Iori Yamaki's 8th place Worlds semifinal routine. Worlds took place in Cleveland, Ohio in August of this past year. Iori competed in all 4 of the rounds, so wildcard, prelim, semi, and final. And out of all 4 of the performances he did, I'd have to say that his semifinal was my favorite. He did some really crazy tricks and kind of brought like a fun, playful attitude to stage, and I just really enjoyed it. So without further ado, let's get to the scores. So I've pre-recorded my clicks for this routine because he goes so fast, it's hard to talk and click at the same time. So he starts off with a negative, which is kind of funny given that he has very few mistakes for the rest of the routine. Goes into a rail combo and some more kind of basic stuff. I'd say the first 2 throws of this freestyle are pretty tame. Nothing really out of the ordinary, just some kind of more basic combos. Yet he does do these more basic styles of combos with a lot of flair and style, which I think is really cool. Goes into a front style here. Again, nothing crazy, but just really well executed and very well refined, given that he's been doing this combo for a long time. So next up in the freestyle, he goes into 3 horizontal combos in a row, which is actually insane and pretty unheard of for a semifinal. I'd say the start of this first horizontal combo is kind of weak. The rolling horizontal combos I don't score too high because I don't think they're too difficult. Then he goes into this like contortionist style behind the back with a really crazy skybind, and I give that +2. This third horizontal combo is my favorite combo of the routine. Specifically for this last part with these behind the wrist catches and then this crazy chop catch into a slap bind, and then he kind of jumps up in excitement, and I think it's just a really good part of the routine. Goes into some hops here, and then this final hop he does, really cool. I give it +2 because it looks really difficult and risky, and then he ends it with another slap bind, which I don't think he really meant to do. He kind of shakes his head a little bit after that. Maybe he just had an extra second or two because he was going so clean and just threw it in. Yeah. So I scored this routine at +70 -4, which I'd say is a pretty solid score for a semifinal. It's a really good score for a semifinal, yet when you're competing at Worlds with like the very top tier players, I'd say that score kind of falls into the lower echelon of the top people, like maybe around 10th to 15th in terms of tech. Where I think this routine really excels is the evals, so I will move on to those now. I've got the eval scores over here, and I've got like a little chart for the evals above me, which maybe could kind of help put the scores into context. Yeah, so I'll just do these one by one. There's 4 freestyle evaluation categories for qualifying rounds, prelim and semifinal. The first one is execution, which is pretty much the success rate of your tricks. So how few mistakes did you have? Is the routine performed as planned? And he got an 8.4 in execution, which is an excellent score to get. It says excellent up there. That means all of the judges had him really, really high up there. And I think it's extremely well deserved. 4 negatives is a very small amount of negatives. And I also think specifically for this routine, his negatives didn't really intrude on him completing his tricks. Like, even though he had a negative here and there, he still hit all of his combos kind of without missing out on much. So I think that justifies a high execution score. Next up, we have control. He got an 8.8 in control, which was the highest eval score he was given. And I think this was extremely well deserved, given that control is about your control over the yo-yo and the string movements, and kind of your mastery of controlling the yo-yo and how clean and fluid your tricks look, and how clean and fluid your transitions between tricks are. And I think he has really, really clean and fluid transitions and tricks, and like a very, very high amount of control over the yo-yo. I think part of that is due to the fact that he's been doing a lot of these tricks for many, many, many years, which definitely helps for gaining control. And yeah, so the next category is choreography, also known as music use 1. Choreography has to do with hitting beats and cues on the beats of the song. So, and also it has to do with body movements correlating to the music too. So there's a part in the middle of the freestyle where he kind of like he brings his head up and the song changes, and I think that actually would count for music use 1. Little sip of the Spindrift. Yeah, pretty solid music use 1. Not crazy, but definitely above standard, as it says on the chart. So I have like a little eval cheat sheet here, just so I don't mess anything up. Lastly, there's body control. He got his lowest score in body control, a 7.4, which is still, again, above standard. It's a really good score, yet I think it's lower than it could have been given at the end of his freestyle, he kind of like shakes his head a little bit, and it's maybe not the most, like, he's maybe not showing the most professional and best stage manners, I guess. So maybe that's why that routine isn't, or that score isn't quite as high as it could be. Yet he still got, I believe, a 32.2 out of 40, which is a crazy high eval score. And I think the eval score is really what carried him up in the semifinal results, more than his tech. Like, he was carried by his evals, whereas for me personally, I'm normally carried by my tech, and my evals bring me down. So it's interesting to see that. So I just thought this routine was great as a whole, and I've enjoyed analyzing it. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And if you could comment other analysis videos you would like to see, that would be greatly helpful for me. So thank you, and bye-bye.